Okay, so hello and welcome. So I am AR Manarang, and in this presentation, we'll be di- we'll be diving into our topic in the collaboration of mobile application and information management. So our topic is student violation record system. So let's proceed with chapter one, which is the introduction, and it will be presented to you by Ella Almadrones. Ella.
Uh, Good afternoon. I'm Ella Almadrones, and I will be presenting the introduction of our manuscript. So mobile applications with databases play a crucial role in modern technology by allowing efficient storage, retrieval, and management of user data. These applications will facilitate real-time data synchronization, ensuring the users always have access to the latest information across multiple devices. Additionally, they support offline access, enabling users to interact with data even without an internet connection, which is particularly useful in remote areas or during outage. Security is another critical aspect as databases help protect sensitive user data through encryption, authentication, and secure storage methods. So, about the system, the student violation record system is a digital solution designed to streamline the process of documenting and monitoring student violations in an organized and efficient manner. It's essential for maintaining discipline and ensuring fairness and improving efficiency in managing student infractions within an academic environment. The system allows administrators to easily record and track violations, ensuring timely interventions and consistent enforcement of rules. By providing a centralized platform, it enhances communication among staff, promotes transparency, and helps identify patterns in student behavior, ultimately fostering a more productive and respectful learning atmosphere. That is it for about the system of our system.
Okay, now the system features will be presented by Ralph Edward Barrientos.
Hello, this is Ralph Edward Barrientos here. I'm I'm telling the system features about this case study of ours. Sanction entry enables user to manually input the appropriate sanction for each violation. Violation records provides a searchable table displaying all records violations. Functionality allows user to search records by student number, first name, middle name, last name, or violation type. User authentication, login and logout. Ensures secure access by requiring users to log in before accessing the system without a logout option to end the session. Dashboard overview displays a summary of total violations for quick monitoring. Student violation entry allows user to record violations by selecting from predefined violation types. Student information fields includes fields for student number, first name, middle name, last name, course, section, and mobile number.
Okay, now, so we'll now proceed with the chapter 2 of our manuscript, which is the system design. Alright, so 2.1 data dictionary. Okay, so what we see here is a data dictionary of a table within our system. So this table is the student information within the database. So we have here our field name, data type, data format, field size, description, and example. So we can see here the information of a student, which is student number, first name, last name, middle name, home address, section, course, and mobile number. So now we look to another data dictionary table. So this is our table for violations. So we can see here the violation ID, the student number, which is the foreign. key here. So violation type, date reported. Then the another table for data dictionary is the sanctions. For the sanctions, with the field name of sanction ID, violation ID, and sanction type. So violation ID serves as a foreign key here. So we'll go into that deeper later on ERD. Now another data dictionary here, table. So this is just for the account within our database. So username and password. Okay, now 2.2 database design. So we have here our data structure. So this is just the how we create the table within our database. So table name, TBL student infos. Then we have here our query to create the table. So we can see here the student number, first name, last name, middle name, home address, section, course, and mobile number. So they have their own data type, and they are mostly uh, have the constraint of null, not null, and default null. So we inputted the size of the data type in there. As you can see, we have the student number varchar of 10, since the student number within the city college um, consists of 10 as of now. So first name 50, just to be safe for longer names. Last name 50, middle name 50, home address 100, then so forth and so on. So below, we can see the primary statement, primary key, then student number. What that what does that do is it sets the student number as the primary key within the table. So now it will be our unique identifier for this table. Now we have here our table for violations. So table name TBL underscore violations. We have here a query to create the table of violations. So violation ID. So auto increment, as you can see. So we can already see here that it will be our primary key. Then student number, then violation type, then we use the enum data type here. So now we inputted the type of violations within the student manual. So those are the violations. Now we have here our date reported. Then below we can see the primary key violation ID. Right. So as you can see, our primary key here is the violation ID. Now we have here key student number. Then student number. Then what this do is it sets this column as the foreign key within our table. So below we can see the constraint. Then we can see the foreign key student number. So it says the student number as the foreign key within this table. So it will connect to the other table, which is the student TBL student infos. Now let's go to our next table, TBL sanctions. So we have here our query to create the TBL sanctions, sanction ID, int 11, not null, auto increment, violation ID. Now sanction type. So now below we can see the primary key sanction ID, since this auto increment will now set it as a primary key within the table, our unique identifier for this table. Now we have the key violation ID, we can see constraint, then foreign key violation ID. So since the violation ID is the primary key of the TBL violations, now we here set it as a foreign key. So it connects, the table connects to each other. Now, so TBL login. So create table login. This is just for the account to log in within the system. Now, 2.2.2 ERD. We have here our ERD. So So we can see here the relation and the tables that we have seen before. So let's start with TBL student infos. So within it, we can see the student number set as varchar, and we can see the icon here. And that symbol is for primary key, primary keys. So student number will be the primary key. Then we will have first name, last name, middle name, home address, section, course, and mobile number. Now we have TBL violations. Violation ID, primary key. Then student number, violation type, date reported. Now we have here in our TBL student infos the primary key of student number, and then to the TBL violation we have the foreign key of student number. So as you can see, they are connected to each other, and with the lines, with the line that is shown there, it will show the relationship of them within each other. So the a student can have one or multiple violations. That's why the symbol of the the here, our arrow here, is one too many. Now violations can have zero or one student. So this is what represents it. And we can see that the relationship is non-identifying, presented by the dash lines of the straight line. Non-identifying means that each table can exist without each other. So they are not dependent on each other. Now here we have the TBL sanctions, sanction ID as the primary key. Now we have here the violation ID, so and sanction type. Now the violation ID here serves as the foreign key within this table. So it is used to connect to the TBL violations. Now we can see here that the relationship is one to one. So a sanction can have one and only one TVL violations. And and violations can have one one sanction. Now the relationships is identifying, as the TBL sanctions cannot exist without the TBL violation. So identifying is presented by the this straight line, unlike the other which is non-identifying. Now below we can see the TBL login. So this is just for the logging in of the account within the database, username and password. Okay, now we'll proceed with the components of the mobile form. So this will be presented by John Michael Tamondok. John Michael.
So good evening. I will discuss the 2.3 components of the mobile form. First is mobile form. First is home. Display a summary of total violation for quick monitoring, easy access to records of violation list. The second, violation entry. Input student details such as student number, name, course, section, and mobile number. Select a violation type from a drop-down list or predefined violation. Manually enter an appropriate sanction for the violation. Submit data to the system in real time. Then the third is records. Display all records violation in a searchable list. Search functionality to filter violation by student number, name, and or violation type. View detailed records for each violation including sanction applied. And the last is logout. Option to securely log out of the system, ends the session and ensure that no one else can access the system without authentication.
R. Are you mute?
Sorry for that. So my mic was muted. So now let's continue. So for chapter 3, this will be the coding our system. So we'll do this chapter like how the sample manuscript presentation that sir has sent. So this will be the system demonstration that will be recorded later on. So for now, we'll continue with the other chapter, the next chapter. So we have here the chapter 4, conclusion and recommendation, which will be presented by Kristan Reyes. Kristan?
This is our conclusion and recommended is, in conclusion, a student violation record system is an essential tool for maintaining discipline and accountability within educational institutions. By streamlining record keeping, improving accuracy, and enabling quick access to critical data, it, han- it enhances both efficiency and fairness in managing student behavior. With automated tracking, data secure data management, and real-time monitoring, school can foster structured and transparent environment that encourages responsible conduct. Ultimately, implementing such a system not only simplifies administrative tasks but also contributes to a more disciplined and supportive learning atmosphere, ensuring a positive impact on both students and educators. Next, recommendation. Future Future improvements to the student violation record system should focus on enhancing functionality, security, and user experience. Key recommendations include advanced reporting and analytics to track violations, automated notification for timely communication, and role-based access control to secure sensitive data. A mobile-friendly version or app with push notification will improve accessibility, while advanced search and filtering would enhance record retrieval. Implementing QR code or ID scanning could streamline data entry, and a backup and recovery system would ensure data security. Integration with school management system could improve synchronization. And lastly, UX improvements such as better interface design and multilingual support would enhance usability. These recommendations aim to make the system more efficient, secure, and user-friendly.
Okay. Thank you for that, Kristan. So that will be all for our presentation. So thank you very much. Thank you.